It is so good to see so many people here, but it is not good that we have to be here. This is a very frustrating, angering, disappointing moment that we have to be here. But the fact that we are shows the character of who we are. I have this saying that says, before you tell me about your religion, first show it to me in how you treat other people. I believe that who we are speaks so loudly people can't hear what you say. We all know that in times of trial, what is more important is not the words of your enemy, but the potential silence of your friends. Now, I was taught at my earliest memories of age. You have to understand, I am a black guy from Jersey whose family in 1969 integrated a small town in the northeast corner of our state to become, as my father called us, the 4 raisins in a tub of sweet vanilla ice cream. Now, my parents wanted me to know we didn't get there by accident. It took the sweat and struggle and sacrifice of many people. And what they wanted me to know is that those people that struggled and sacrificed were not all black people. That if you look at the civil rights movement, there were black folks and white folks and Latino folks and Indian folks and Asian folks, Hawaiian folks. We saw people from all backgrounds willing to stand together, and especially the Jewish community. We from New Jersey should be proud that it was a Jersey rabbi, Rabbi Yochanan Prince, who spoke right before Martin Luther King during the March on Washington, which is the most unfortunate placement I could think of to go right before Martin Luther King. Reminds me of the Democratic National Convention. I went right before Michelle Obama. And my mom comes up to me, what a great speech. I go, thank you, Mom, not yours. Michelle Obama. My parents told me at the youngest of age to know the names of Goodman, Cheney, and Schwarm. Black man and 2 Jewish men that literally died together for rights that now my generation takes for granted, the right to vote. But more than that, bringing it more close to home, getting into that community in New Jersey, moving to this state. When my parents would show up at a house, in the neighborhoods that I grew up in, they would be told the house was sold. And so they went to the Fair Housing Council. And the Fair Housing Council began to send white people right behind my parents. And they'd find out the house was still for sale. They fell in love with the house. They were told it was sold. The white couple went in. It was still for sale. They put a bid on the house. On the day of the closing, the white couple didn't show up. My father did, and a volunteer Jewish lawyer named Marty Friedman. The real estate agent was so upset that he'd been caught in a sting, he stood up and punched my father's lawyer in the face and sicked a dog on my dad. Now I tell you, every time my dad would tell the story, the dog would get bigger. But I stand here today, not just because as a response to the hatred. I'm here today, as all of us are, we are physical manifestations of love. It's the love that brought us here, from activists and warriors for peace. It's the love that brought us here, of a lawyer in the 60s who stood up for my family because his religion, his faith was shown not by his adherence and study of the Torah, but how he lived the Torah in his life. So I'm here because I owe a debt I can't pay back. We all do. We've got to pay it forward. Now we know one of the great Jewish ideals, sung during the high holidays in a song, Ki beiti beit tefillah l'ho ami. May my house be a house of prayer for many nations. The very Jewish ideal is this ideal that we must be about bringing people together for what? What does it say in Micah? What, O Lord, do you want from your people of Israel is to do justice. Justice. We are gathered here today because hatred cannot go without a response. Because bigotry cannot be allowed to go without being shouted down by a chorus of love. That people who are cowards, who sit in the dark on their phones calling in terroristic threats, that we must drown out those voices with our own voices. This is what gathers us all together here. I know, as Elie Wiesel said, that the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. And we know right now in our country, as we are seeing anti-Semitic events surge in our country, desecrations of grave sites, bomb threats, we're seeing hate in general surge. With just this week, a Sikh American shot, immigrants from India in our country shot, one murdered. As people come to my office, Muslim college students talking about being jeered in the subway. But I will not be discouraged, because hope doesn't exist in an abstract. It is a response. It is a conviction that despair will never have the last word. I'll never forget last month going to Dulles Airport, leaving Washington, D.C., racing to the airport in the middle of the night as refugees escaping persecution, like many of the ancestors of people standing around me right now. They were being held by our government, and when I got to the airport, I felt chills go through me because the airport was packed. I saw kipahs there. Literally men and women, Jewish men and women, like Marty Friedman, like others, standing up to fight for Muslims coming into our country. That is what we are about. That is what Judaism is. That is what we are as a community. And so today I am proud to stand here in solidarity with this circle of love. I'm proud to let everyone know that this is a community of love. This is a community of strength. This is a community that understands, like that old African saying, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. This is our unity. Now, this congressman over here, who's one of the more humble heroes that I know in Washington, he was gentle, because he's a little ticked off. He really is. How disrespectful is it that when the calculations are made for the fancy terms UASI grants, but Homeland Security grants, which, by the way, when we're combating hatred, let's not send all of our money overseas. We want to make the homeland strong here. And so what he said is, this is outrageous that in North Jersey, we're in a different section than South Jersey. We're in the greater New York metropolitan area, and we had to fight because they actually wanted to downgrade our UASI threat matrix. One of the first things I had to do when I came in and said, wait a minute, when Manhattan has all their back offices in New Jersey and our financial systems, computer systems, this is the same level as New York, and we fought and got that matrix upticks. But here in South Jersey, we're a part of the Pennsylvania and Philadelphia region. And they use our population as part of that calculation of the threats. So they're getting certain funding based on the numbers of people that live in the greater Philly region. And I love Philadelphia, I love Pennsylvania. When I'm down at the Jersey Shore, I bump into a whole lot of Philly license. I know there's a river that crosses us, that separates us, but we are divided, we are united in this region. And we should be calculated as one region when it comes to the threat matrix. But it literally is outrageous. I had a big afro, I pulled out all my hair. Because when it comes to the allocations of that money, we don't get any of it. Think about that for a second. That, as was the congressman said, federal dollars right now in northern Jersey, in New York, in Philadelphia, in Delaware, are working to protect communities and nonprofits that are being targeted by hatred. We know it's happening, dozens and dozens of threats in the last months. And all those areas around us are getting federal grants, rightfully so. I don't want to take a dollar away from them. But don't ever disrespect South Jersey and don't say we don't deserve our fair share. What's even more troubling than that to me is that show me a person in the circle here that doesn't pay taxes to the federal government. You all are sending your money down and you're not getting dollar for dollar back. You're not getting dollar. We get about 68 cents back for every dollar we send down. And so here we are in a time of obvious need. Here we are at a time where our communities are being threatened. And we must have the federal government, which we support. And I have no disrespect. I'm happy that New Jersey tax dollars help to keep us safe abroad. I'm proud that New Jersey tax dollars help protect people in New York. I'm proud that our money is being spread around this country. But when we need it, we should get it. And so I join with this perturbed person behind me. Rightfully, it's a righteous rage that he has. He and I have joined together to say, look, in our time of need, we're writing letters to Homeland Security Secretary Kelly and saying this makes no sense whatsoever. Help our communities in our time. But we're not stopping there. I'm a little frustrated by what I'm hearing might come down. That in the Homeland Security, that they're going to change the efforts that are called countering violent extremism. And they want to change the name, I'm hearing, to countering Islamic terrorism. Now that bothers me first and foremost because we're giving those radical jihadists exactly what they want. They don't want to think that this is a war on specific terrorist actors. They're trying to make it a war against Islam, which it's not. Islam is a religion of peace. It's a religion of love. This is a war on those people who would like to twist the Quran to use it for their evil purposes. But what bothers me about that is as we look around this country right now, whether it's a black church in South Carolina, where a violent extremist came in and shot parishioners dead, whether it is a Muslim immigrants sitting for a peaceful meal, shot and killed by an extremist. We need to understand that whether it is the bomb threats made by terroristic bomb threats made by extremists against JCCs, or people in our country that are being twisted into doing lone wolf attacks, that violent extremism is what we are fighting, not a religion. And so the congressman and I, joined with Senator Menendez, we are focusing like a laser beam on these issues. Because I get up every day and go to work trying to make sure that we in New Jersey are safe and strong. And during this time, it is important what our governments do, but I want to finish by letting you know that your voices, the vigilance of your voices, that is so powerful. Alice Walker said the most common way people give up their power is not realizing they have it in the first place. Martin Luther King said what we will have to repent for in this day and age is not simply the violent actions and words of the bad people, but the appalling silence and inaction of the good people. Let us now understand that we have the power to shape our communities. We have the power to shape our nation. We have the power to direct the destiny of us as a people. And so my call for everyone is let us not relent. Today, we condemn the actions of someone making terroristic threats here. But our democracy is a garden. We cannot be reactivists, reacting to hatred all the time. We have to be proactive in our constant work. There's a great song sung by Sweet Honey in the Rock after a great civil rights activist, and calling on all of us to understand that the freedoms and liberties we enjoy, they have to constantly be worked on. Let us leave here feeling good from the collective strength, but let's remember that we still have work to do. As Sweet Honey in the Rock sang so eloquently, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it's won. Every generation must earn the legacy we've inherited by constant work, constant nurturing, constant tending to the garden of art and arms.